The Runescape economy right now is genuinely shocking. Don't believe me? Well, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and find out. For more RuneScape guides, content, and news, be sure to subscribe. It was brought to my attention that certain PVM supplies were getting relatively cheap on the Grand Exchange. Now, if I'm being entirely honest, whenever I do buy sourdough and brews or Sailfish, I don't really pay attention to the price because I just want to buy a stack and not have to worry about getting more food for my bank presets. There's nothing worse than having to buy more PVM supplies mid-hour, with the exception of questing, of course. If you take a look at the price of the majority of popular PVM food, you would see that in the past 6 months, they have lost a lot of their value. In fact, sharks are only around 470 GP each. I very clearly remember buying sharks for over 2000 GP each, and according to the wiki graph, that was around 2020 and 2021. I just bought 10,000 Sailfish for the G price and I still got money back despite them only costing around 2,100 GP each. Sailfish used to cost double, and if you go a little bit further back into 2021, triple that price. This means if you're a PVMer that's currently bulking, aka you eat a lot of food because you're not that good, you're going to be doing so at 1/3 of the cost compared to 1.5 years ago. Two possible reasons as to why this type of food is going down in price is: one, we haven't really had much combat content since the Zamrak Lord of Chaos boss, and two, Fresh.War players have been getting 40% more resources since November, and those players will definitely convert at some point, so that definitely had some kind of impact on the price of food as well. By the way, every single Fresh.War player will be forced into the main game on the 9th of January. Just saying. Let's move on. Sourdough and brew flasks have lost 42% of their value in the past 6 months and are less than half their price of the all-time high back in August 2021. Now, I'm not one to suggest when you should buy or sell items, but buying PVM supplies, at least some of them I just mentioned right now, seems like quite the attractive deal. Super restores, while also losing a lot of their value, do seem to be going up quite steeply right now. Personally, I'm still going to buy some. Are more players doing that Golden Roses daily nowadays or something? Because the Pound of Penance seems to be becoming cheaper and cheaper. Nice. I also noticed the Fellstock Potion Unfinished going down in value quite a bit. Why exactly is probably because the Fellstocks themselves are going down in value, as the item created using the Unfinished Potion is a Prey Renewal 3-dose, and those seem to be doing alright. As for all the other herbs, well, they did seem to increase quite significantly after the Garden of Carid update. It does seem like a good amount of herbs are being corrected, so to speak, and seem to be declining in value in the last 30 days. Seeds like the Quorum and Lantidime seeds are seeing a similar drop after the price rise, while low-tier seeds such as the Guam and Haralander seeds continue to go up with no signs of stopping. I made a video covering herb and seed prices right after the update, but I still think it's a bit early to speculate where both of them will end up in a year or so. I had someone approach me on Discord saying he was tracking the price of seeds with a sheet that he was willing to share, but I wasn't able to get a reply before finishing this video. Perhaps it's something I'll cover in a future market update. So you know how the Wilderness Flash events give you those reward sacks which drop a bunch of Black Salamanders, Red Chinchompas, Bloodweed Seeds, Muddy Keys, and Wyvern Bones? That update released on the 17th of October last year, and you can clearly see the absolutely ridiculous influx of these items in the Grand Exchange value charts. Black Salamanders have lost nearly 80% of their value. Red Chinchompas are down nearly 70%. Bloodweed Seeds are worth half of what they used to cost. Yes, they used to cost 140k, the update brought them down to 58k, and now they're sitting around 68k. Muddy Keys went from 8k down to 2k, and Wyvern Bones went from around 18k down to now around 12.3k, which admittedly is still a good amount of money if you do them as a Slayer task. Jagex calls them Wilderness Flash events, I call them the Wilderness Flash Crash. Now, we've mainly been covering items that are going down in value, and those also include gear such as Tectonic and Sirenic due to the energies or Sirenic skills going down in value, and even Malevolent Energy going down in value. But there's also a lot of things going up, and that's completely unexpected, at least from my own perspective, because Fresh.World is going to be merging with the main game. Sure, a lot of players have already converted over to the main game, but the mandatory or forceful merge, so to speak, is about to happen on January the 9th, and you would expect all kinds of PVM related items to go down in value because there would be a sudden influx of items. Why? Well, because players on Fresh.World did have a 20% double drop chance at all times starting on the 7th of November. And any kind of influx of items being sold on the Grand Exchange will obviously have an effect on that existing market. But what we're seeing right now with some items is the exact opposite. Let's take Cinderbrains for example. They were 77 million GP in December 2022. Now they're nearly 100 million GP, and that's the grand exchange price, not even the street price. A Syra weapon set, so both the main hand and offhand, was around 30 million GP for the entire set back in November. Now you can expect to spend almost 60 million GP on a set. The Mass Capability Codex has risen almost 10 million GP in just a month, now costing nearly 63 million GP. Quite expensive if you ask me. Draconic energy used to create and repair Elite Tectonic is now over 700,000 GP. Ancient skills are over 1.2 million GP each, nearly reaching the same all-time high as back in January of 2022. Seismic weapons seem to be quite affordable in November and now seem to be going up like crazy. But perhaps the most surprising change is that the Spider Leg, Noxious Staff, Noxious Scythe, and Noxious Longbow have all reached their all-time high, excluding their introduction into the game, which isn't really the real price. That is absurd. Why is the Noxious Staff going up in value? The Noxious Longbow I can understand because of the new God Arrows, which maybe aren't so new anymore because they were released in May, but you know what I mean. Noxious Scythe, always a good, useful, versatile weapon that's always going to be in demand, but now it's peaking over 400 million GP. Now, it's been close to that number in the past, but still, why this sudden change? What is going on? And the theory I have is that players from Fresh Start Worlds are coming into the main game with money or supplies they're selling, and then buying items that were maybe not as easily accessible in Fresh Start Worlds due to low supply, which I have encountered and experienced myself when trying to buy a Dragon Rider Lance. It took an incredible amount of time for that thing to buy, and that's with a lot of people doing Vindicta and Fresh Start Worlds as well for the Dragon Bones, and you know what I mean. Unless you put in some ridiculous high value offer, it would take some time to buy low supply or low volume items in Fresh Start Worlds, and now, in the main game, you can just easily go ahead and grab one. Funnily enough, the lance itself isn't really changing that much in value. Something I also don't understand is why isn't something like the Praisal Codex going up in value just as fast as the Noxious Weapons as well? You know, to unlock the tier 99 prayers. That item seems to have been going down since August of 2022. The Fractured Star of Armoral went down to max cash in November and now was over 3 billion GP again. Interesting. Vital Sparks seem to still be going up in value. This doesn't really surprise me at all. Certain archaeology materials seem to be going up very quickly opposed to others which are staying stable, which is also again quite strange. If anyone has a theory for this one, let me know because I have no idea. And the final item I'd like to cover in this video is the Ring of Death, which is certainly going up in value quite quickly. Why exactly? Well, because the entire ring and its effect are going to be changed on January the 9th with the Death rework. Instead of saving you money, the new effect will keep you alive but place a bleed on your character once you die, giving you time to finish off your boss, albeit with that bleed disadvantage. That is actually an advantage because you can finish your kill. For those wondering about my video on the death cost data shared on the 4th of January, I'll be breaking down and including that information on the rework release day video next Monday. And with that being said, we've also come to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it interesting. If you did, leave a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.